Hello to everybody. Before I share my screen, I'm just going to take a moment to kind of give the background. I know in the past year or so, a lot of people have been playing around with large language models like ChatGPT and others. We've incorporated it into our daily tasks. I know at Y Meadows, we've incorporated it into a lot of automation tasks and workflows. And we've kind of become comfortable with what it's good at and what it's not good at. And one of the things that a lot of people have noticed over time that it's not good at is ranking things, or ranking the level of sentiment or how probable something is. And one of the ways that as AI developers have tried to approach this, and that OpenAI for ChatGPT at least has made available, is looking at the sort of probability behind the tokens rather than sort of asking the model for a ranking or a probability. And I thought that I could share a tool to help visualize this, which would help people see how this might be useful. So I'm going to share. Yes, here we go. Can everyone see this?
Yep.
Okay, so to show how this works briefly, I'm just going to type in a prompt here. This is calling GPT-4o. I'm going to say, tell me about yourself. And the way that this works is that it gives me the response from ChatGPT, but it also tells me how probable each of these tokens were in the response. So you can see the green means that it's almost 100%. When I hover over, it tells me what the most likely tokens were at that moment. ChatGPT, of course, is just a sort of classifier for a string of text. What is the most likely next tokens? But here, where it's more blue or purple, we'll see that it wasn't as sure as what the next token should be. So it should, instead of saying my primary function, it might have said my main function or my purpose. Instead of I can process, it might have said I can simulate or I can provide or I can help and things like that. And this shows me how probable each token is in the sequence of tokens that it's outputting. And one of the ways that we can see how that might be useful, I'm going to, for example, ask it to give me a random number. So give me a random number between 0 and 10 without explanation. If you've played with ChatGPT before, you might know that it's going to tell you 7. And it's actually, we can see here that it's 68% of the time it's going to output 7. And actually, 4 is the next most probable, and it's almost will never tell you 1 or 2 or 9 or something like that. These are the 6 most probable tokens. And if I tell it between 0 and 100, it will almost always tell me 42. It's the meaning of the universe, so it's the most likely in the data that it's trained on. But the most random numbers you'll know that people like to give when you ask for a random number is 2-digit numbers with 7, which is why it's also most likely to tell you 37 or 57 or 73 or something like that. The way that this could be useful is if you're asking your a typical prompt for ChatGPT or another LLM might be something like this. A classic task in NLP, which is categorizing product reviews, let's say from Amazon or something like that. We just want to know positive or negative of the review. And here I give it an example output. Tell me positive or negative with a confidence score. So I want to know, what's the confidence of the model? And then I give it a review to categorize, which might be a little confusing. This product is good, but it looks terrible. So what does it think? So it tells me here it's actually negative. It's very sure that it's negative. It's almost 100% positive that the token should be negative here, but the confidence it gives is 65%. And as we know, the model shows here that it really likes to hover between the 60s and the 70s in terms of confidence, almost always, regardless. It's just basically what it thinks a person would say, even though the token output is almost 100%. If I say something like this product is awesome, it's less sure what it should say. It says it's about 60% that it should be positive, but almost 40% that it should be negative, but it still likes to output 65 or 7 or something like that. I'm going to try and get it to say that this is a positive review. So here, it's much more sure that it should be positive, over about 73%. And, it says 7, but it's not really sure. Should it say 7, 65, 75, something like that? Um, and here, if I just say this product is super awesome, of course, it's 100% sure that this should be positive. But it's thinking that a person might say it they're 95. So here, what we would do is if we want to actually get a confidence value from the model, whether something is positive or negative in this kind of task, we would not ask the model for a confidence value. What we would do in a task where we might want to know the confidence, maybe for human review or something like that, or if we're uncertain in the result of something, and we want to know about that, then what we would do is we would ask the model, and then we would ask OpenAI to tell us what are the probabilities for the token in the structured output. And that's the AI moment for today.